I want to start with something I know you felt too. You wake up in the morning not even fully awake yet. The kettle is still quiet, the house is still a little cold, your body takes its time to switch on, and your eyes, almost by habit, go straight to the windowsill. Because there they are, aloe, kalanchoe, tolstiana, that thick-leaved money tree that so many of us keep like a small family treasure, and you look at them the way you sometimes look at yourself. Not with criticism, but with that quiet question. Are you doing okay today? Yesterday everything seemed normal, and today something doesn't sit right. The aloe that used to be a firm suddenly feels soft when you touch it, like it gave up its strength overnight. The kalanchoe looks tired, the leaves hang down, and it's as if it got offended by something you can't even name. And the tolstiana? It's leaning, stretching upward like it's reaching for a lifeline, thin and awkward, not at all like the strong little tree it used to be. And you stand there with that familiar feeling in your chest. Not anger, not drama, just a quiet worry. What did I do wrong? I watered it. I cared for it. I even moved it closer to the light. I talked to it. Why does it still look unhappy? Sometimes it's not really about the plant, you know. Sometimes it's about what the plant represents. Because many of us have spent our whole lives taking care of others. Children, grandchildren, parents, family, work, cooking, cleaning, worrying, helping. And now, when life finally becomes a little quieter, you just want something small and living in your home to be fine. You want to feel that your Zabota still matters, that your hands still bring good things. And when even a medicinal plant starts looking sick, it can hit right in the heart. Because you think, if I can't even keep aloe alive, what does that say about me? So let me tell you right away, softly but clearly. It says nothing bad about you. Not a thing. Most people don't lose aloe, kalanchoe, or tolstiana because they're careless. They lose them because they care too much in the wrong direction. We grew up with certain beliefs that sound perfectly logical. If something is alive, it needs water. If it droops, it's thirsty. If it looks sad, you must do something. Fix it. Help it. Don't leave it alone. And these three plants are tricky because they look strong. They have thick leaves, solid stems, and that reputation of being home medicine. So people think they're almost indestructible, like they can't die, like they'll forgive anything, like the more you water them, the more Lechebny sock they'll store. And you know what? It makes sense. It's not foolish to believe that. It's human. But aloe, kalanchoe, and tolstiana come from a very different kind of life. They come from places where water doesn't come often, where the sun is bright, where the ground dries quickly, where the plants learned one main skill, to store moisture inside their leaves and survive calmly. They don't need Postoyanea zabota. They need Pravolnea zabota. These plants are like people who don't want someone hovering over them every hour asking, "Are you okay? Are you sure? Let me do something." Because after a while, even love like that feels heavy. And the biggest mistake almost everyone makes with these plants is watering too often. Not because they're stupid, because they're kind. You see a leaf that looks a little less firm, and your instinct says, "Poor thing, it must be thirsty." So you water. And maybe it perks up a little at first, or maybe it doesn't. And then you water again thinking, maybe I didn't give enough. But here's the truth that changes everything. Softness in aloe and tolstiana is very often not thirst. It's too much water. because the roots of these plants don't want to sit in wet soil day after day. They want to breathe. They need air just as much as they need moisture. And when the soil stays damp too long, the roots begin to suffocate, quietly, slowly, without any warning. This is why these plants can look fine on the surface and still be suffering underneath. And that's why it's so confusing. You're doing what you believe is good, and still the plant declines. I've been there myself. I remember looking at my own aloe one winter. It was my pride, thick, strong, like a little soldier. And then suddenly, it started collapsing at the base. The leaves felt heavy, but soft at the same time. I thought it needed more water because the heating was on and the air felt dry. I watered, and then I watered again, and each time I felt like I was helping, until one day I touched it and realized the base was mushy. That was my moment of understanding, not painful, just honest. I wasn't helping. I was drowning it with love. And I want you to remember one gentle rule, the kind you can keep in your head without stress. These plants want light first and water second. Light is their real food. Without enough light, everything goes wrong. The plant stretches, becomes thin, pale, weak. It's not growing beautifully. It's reaching, like a person trying to stand up straighter just to breathe. You can see it especially in the Tolsteana. A healthy fat plant looks solid, stable, proud. The leaves sit close together like little thick coins. The stem looks strong, but when there's not enough light, it starts doing this strange thing. It grows upward quickly, but not in a healthy way. The spaces between leaves become bigger. The stem becomes thinner. It leans and twists, trying to find the sun. Aloe does it too. Instead of a strong rosette with firm leaves, it becomes loose, messy, thinner, and sometimes the leaves bend outward like tired shoulders. And kalanchoe can lose its shape, lose its joy, stop blooming, become long and awkward. Many seniors don't even realize how little light the house gets in winter. The days are short, the sun is low, the window might face the wrong direction. Trees outside grew taller, curtains are heavy, and sometimes, let's be honest, we like to place plants where they look pretty, not where they actually get the most daylight. But these plants don't care about beauty in the room. They care about sun on their leaves. So when you see stretching, thin growth, pale color, don't reach for water first. Think, is this plant simply living in too much shade? And now let's come back to watering, because this is where the peace begins. Aloe, kalanchoe, and Tolsteana need watering only when the soil is completely dry. Not a little dry on top, completely. And you don't need any expensive tools. You don't need to become a botanist. I do it like most people do. I touch the soil with my finger, not just the dust on top, but deeper. If it still feels cool and damp, I close the watering can and walk away. If it feels dry and loose, then I water calmly. And I know the next thought because it's a very familiar thought. But my home is warm. The air is dry. Surely it needs more water. Not necessarily. Warm air can dry the surface fast, while the deeper soil stays wet for a long time. And that deeper wetness is what rots roots. It's like looking at dry hair and thinking you're fine, while your shoes are soaked inside. You don't see the danger until it hurts. In winter, these plants often need watering much less often than people expect, sometimes once every 2 weeks, sometimes even less. It depends on your home, your windows, your temperature, but the rule remains the same. Only after the soil dries, and then there's the pot. I have to say this gently because so many people do it out of habit, but it matters a lot. The pot must have drainage holes. A pot without holes is not a safe home for these plants. It's a trap. Even if you water just a little, even if you pour carefully, water collects at the bottom. It sits there. The roots sit in it too. And slowly, the plant begins to rot. And I know why people choose pretty pots without holes. They look nicer, they don't leak, they feel clean, especially if you don't want water on the windowsill. But if you want your aloe, kalanchoe, and tolsteana to live long and calm, the pot needs a way for extra water to leave. And the soil. Oh, the soil. This one is almost funny, because we were taught the opposite. We were taught that good soil is heavy, dark, rich, real earth. So the plant has strength. But these plants don't like heavy soil. Heavy soil holds moisture too long. It becomes dense and wet, like a wet blanket that never dries. They prefer light soil, soil that doesn't stay soggy for days, soil that dries out and lets the roots breathe. You don't need complicated mixtures or fancy bags. The idea is simple. If the soil stays wet forever, it's the wrong soil for these plants. And one more mistake people make, with good intentions again, is choosing a pot that's too big. You might look at your small aloe and think, let me give it a big pot so it can grow for years. But for these plants, a big pot is often dangerous. The bigger the pot, the more soil there is. The more soil there is, the more water stays trapped inside, and the longer the soil stays wet, the higher the chance of rot. These plants like a pot that fits them, not one that is for the future. It's like wearing clothes that fit your body today, not something that hangs off you because you're thinking about tomorrow. When it comes to transplanting, people also worry too much. They feel like they must do it often. But aloe and tolsteana don't enjoy constant moving. They like calm stability. Usually transplanting every couple of years is enough, or when you really see it's outgrowing its home. And when you do transplant, the biggest kindness is not to rush with watering right after, because roots can get slightly damaged during the move, and flooding them right away is like feeding a person heavy food after they've been through stress. Give them time to settle. Now, kalanchoe is a little more sensitive emotionally. It's one of those plants that reacts quickly, but it follows the same calm rules. Light, dry soil between watering, and a pot that doesn't keep water trapped. And reproduction, I actually love that part. Aloe can give pups. Tolsteana can give little shoots. Kalanchoe can be grown from cuttings. It feels like the plant whispering, I'm okay. I have strength to share. But even then, the best thing is not to rush. Let cuttings dry a little so they don't rot. Place them in light soil, water carefully, calmly, no flooding. And then we come to winter again, the season when both people and plants feel the hardest. Winter makes many of us uneasy. The days are short, the sun is weak, the house is quieter. Sometimes health feels more fragile. Sometimes emotions feel heavier. And we want to fix things. We want to do something so we don't feel helpless. So we water more. We move plants around. We try to feed them. We worry. But aloe, kalanchoe, and tolsteana don't want winter drama. They want rest. They still want light, yes, but they want less water, less vmishatelstva, less fussing. Winter is not the season for pushing growth. It's the season for stability. And this is the moment where everything changes. This is the thought that makes plant care feel peaceful instead of stressful. These plants don't need a lot of care. They need calm, correct stability. Not constant attention, not panic, not ejidnevny proverki like a nurse in a hospital. Stability. And when you accept that, you relax. You stop feeling like you must prove something every day. You stop watering out of guilt. You stop thinking, if I don't do something, it will die. Because sometimes the best care is to leave it alone and let it breathe. Honestly, it reminds me so much of how we take care of ourselves. The older we get, the more we want to do everything right. We don't want mistakes. We don't want problems. We don't want new stress. But health isn't built by panic. It's built by routine, calm, proper regime, listening. Plants are the same. Now, if you're standing at your windowsill right now wondering what to do today, let me walk you through it like I'm right there beside you. First, look at the spot where your plant stands. Is it truly bright? Is it close to the window? Does it get real daylight? Because if the plant is stretching, if it's pale, if it's leaning, it's probably begging for light, not water. Then touch the soil. If it's still damp inside, do nothing. Don't water, don't feel guilty. Let it dry. Check the pot. If there are no drainage holes, that alone can explain soft leaves and postiani problema. A plant can't live in a swamp, even a small one, and don't rush into a giant pot. If the plant is small, let it live snugly. These plants don't like too much empty, wet soil around them. And if you want to know what a healthy plant looks like, it's very simple. A healthy aloe feels firm. Its leaves are thick, full, like they have strength inside. It holds its shape. A healthy kalanchoe looks collected, not droopy. Its leaves are plotny, not limp, not hanging like tired hands. A healthy tolsteana has thick leaves like little coins, and it stands steady. It doesn't reach desperately upward. It grows slowly, calmly, without panic. And that last part is important. A healthy plant grows without drama, slowly, quietly, surely. And if your plant is not there yet, it's okay. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're learning the language it speaks. Because these plants speak a different language than most of us were taught. Not more water, not more care, but less v'mashadelstva, more pravilnost. So when you see a new leaf in a week or in a month, take a second and just look at it. Let yourself feel that warm little victory. Because it's not only the plant getting better, it's proof that calm care works, that your hands are still good hands, that you can learn and adjust, even now, that you don't have to be perfect to do things beautifully. Progress matters more than ideal, always, and if you want, you can tell me which one you have at home right now, aloe, kalanchoe, or tolsteana, and what exactly worries you about it. I'll read your comment, and I'll answer the way a neighbor would, warmly, simply, without judgment.